Hi, and welcome back. So, in the previous episode, we worked on our status bar. Now, we are going to start working with our consumables and stuff like that. So, what we're going to do first of all is head over into our inventory system into structs and enums. And inside here, we are going to create something new. Now, from this point forward, every time that you change something, I want you to save all. Not just Control S or Control Shift S, like literally go up here and save all. Working with structs and especially changing structs, we're not going to be changing too much, I don't think. But from this point forward, when we are changing a struct, when you know we're going to change a struct or add an enum or stuff like that, you're going to save your project or you might end up crashing. So with that warning, let's get started. So I'm going to add a blueprint, and this one is going to be a enumeration, and it's going to be item category. I'm going to make another blueprint enumeration. This one is going to be equipment category. And then another enum, which is going to be consumable type. Inside of item category, now I'm going to start most of these with NA, so not applicable, in order to save myself time down the road. So everyone is going to start out with NA, so not applicable. And then we're going to go to consumable, and we're going to go to equipment, and then we're going to go to building. Yeah, let's go to building. I'm not going to add any more. I don't even know if we're going to add any building into this system, but this is what we're going to do so far. So that's just for item category. I'm going to go into my equipment category, and once again I'm going to start with an NA, so everyone defaults to that. I'm going to have head, I'm going to have chest, I'm going to have legs, I'm going to have feet. I'm going to close that, make sure that it's actually saved. Yeah, it's good. And that is it for those things. Now I'm going to go into my consumable, and then this one is not going to be actually let's start this one with an NA as well. Water, food, and then I'm going to do buff. That's it for our consumables. So let's go into our third person character, and let us I'm actually going to click my event graph and close all the other tabs for now. We're going to go into our interact. So we have our interactor place, our interact event. If it does contain an interact interface, we want to interact, and then we want to have another function here. So this one is going to be holding consumable item. It's going to be a pure function. It's going to return with a true. And what we're going to do here is we're going to get our AB1, because it's only on our action bars. We're going to get item info at index. The index is going to be our selected slot, not recipe craft, our selected slot. And then we're going to get defaults out of item. And I do believe, yeah, we're going to add some other things first. So now is where it can start crashing for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to head over into your master item. And inside of master item, now I think I managed to fix the crashes by do not mess with the item info anymore. Every time I messed with the item info, that's when the crashes normally happened. And once I started adding new ones instead, then the crashes did not happen anymore. So it should not happen, but save regardless. So I'm going to save right now. I'm going to add item category of type item category. And then in another one, which is equipment category. And you guessed it, equipment category. Now, let's not crash. We didn't crash so far. That is a good sign. Back on my third person character now. If I now get my defaults, I'm going to get some more options. Now I'm going to switch on the item category. So this is only checking for a consumable. So the only one I want to bring out true is our consumable. Rest of them, I want to bring out I want to return with a not true or a false. Right? Only if it's a consumable, we're going to return with a true. Now back on my interact, on my false now, I can branch out this holding consumable. So it's gonna line trace and it's gonna check for the hit. Now, if we hit something and it does not contain an interface, so we can't interact. So if you're looking at a wall, you're gonna start consuming. However, if you're looking at a door, it's gonna interact before it goes anywhere else, right? If this is true, then we're gonna consume. So we're gonna make it a function. This one is gonna be called consume. No, it's not a function, sorry. We're actually gonna have to do this in our event graph. So I'm gonna find some space and I'm gonna make a custom event called consume. And this is where the fun starts working a little bit. So on my inventory system, on my items, no, on my master item, I'm gonna right click my master item. I'm gonna create a child out of that. This one's gonna be my master consumable. I'm gonna put this into items. I'll put this into a new folder called Consumables. I'm typing consumable different every time, I understand. Now, our master consumable is a child of the master item, so it's going to work with our system perfectly. However, so we need some variables in here as well. So I'm going to, inside of master consumable, I do not think I need the type of consumable. Let me see what we have over here. So item category, we got consumable type. Yeah, we do need a consumable type. So inside of my master consumable, actually that should be, yeah, no, we actually do need that. So inside of here, we're gonna add a item, what did I call that? Consumable type. I'm just gonna type in type, and then I'm gonna add some floats. I'm gonna add a water value or hydration value. We're not going to use hydration in the system. I don't know why I'm adding that. Food value. And then we're going to add a timer to this. This is our master consumable. So when we go into our character now, on consume, we can get our action bar 1. We can get item info at index. Index being our selected slot. Like so. And then we can cast to master consumable, which is going to give us the defaults. And in here, I'm going to have a delay of the timer. Right? On our, just anywhere, I'm going to do a right mouse button. When we click it, I'm going to set RMB to be true. And when we release it, I'm going to set it to false. When we're interacting, so that's a right click, it's not a left click. So when we're right clicking, we are setting right mouse button boolean to be true. We're going in here, we're taking a delay of the timer. After the delay is done, we're going to do a branch and we're going to plug in our right mouse button. So we're still holding down. Are we still eating? You know, like on Minecraft, you can eat and then if you stop it, you're not going to get the food. But if you continue, it's going to do everything, right? If we are still eating, we're going to get our current hunger. Actually, we're going to set our current hunger to, get our current hunger as well. And then set current hunger. If we're true, set current hunger. We're going to set current hunger to current hunger. Oh my god, I'm saying current hunger a lot. Current hunger plus the food value of the item itself. Then we're going to clamp that float between 0 and 100, max food. 0 and max food. Max hunger. Should have called this food, not hunger. It is what it is. If it's true, then we're going to do that. And then we also know that we want to remove an item, so we can set the item info at index. Index is the selected slot. Item, and let us grab these down here, and then get the item info at index. Like so. Item is the item. Quantity is quantity minus 1. Then we're going to get, before we continue actually, we're going to go into our set item info at index. And we're going to update this a little bit. So after we set our array element, we're going to do a branch. Check if our contents get a copy at the local index. And check if our quantity is less than or equal to 0. If it is not, we're going to continue. Or if it is, we're going to set array element at our local index. to be blank, so it nulls it out. Now we can go back to our third person character, and we have set our item input index. Now we can get our href, get our status bar, then update status. Once that is done, we can get our href, get our game instance ref, save game. And remember, when we save game, we are pulling in all of the information. And then we want to fire off consume again, because you might have 3 pork chops in your inventory, and you might want to eat them all. So once it is done, consume items. I'm going to set font size to 64. Consume items. Consume, yeah, whatever, doesn't matter. So that should theoretically fire this off. Now, if I go into interact, that's not going to fire it off because we are not actually holding this. We need to, out of true, we can type in consume. And then we actually need to make an item for this. So let's go into our content, inventory system, items, consumable, master consumable, create a child. This is going to be my item porkchop. And I need a image for that as well. Okay, so I've imported the porkchop here. Again, all of these images are available over on Flaticon. So go there if you want them. My item porkchop, I'm going to go into that. I'm going to set the type to be food. I'm going to set the water value to be 0. It's going to give 15 food. It's going to have a timer of 2 seconds. So you need to hold down right click for 2 seconds until it passes. This is a pork chop. Description is tasty. We don't have any way to check descriptions yet, so it doesn't really matter. It's stackable up to 12. It's usable. It's just going to have that animal. It's a consumable, and it's not applicable for the equipment category. Inside my third person character now, on my event graph, where we give ourselves items, I'm going to add a new input to this. I'm going to say index 2, because I don't think we're using that. Index 2 is going to be, oh shit, sorry, third person character. Index 2 is going to be pork chop, and it's going to give me 10 pork chops. So if I play, there's my pork chops. Now, we did get an error there, and that's because we were trying to interact or use an item on our non-usable slot. So if I right click now, that is where our error is coming from. I'm just going to start. Let me move this down there. I'm holding right click, it's eating it, and it is filling up the bar when the timer is ended. Now, if I stop holding down right click, it's not going to fire off anymore. You can add sounds to this if you want. It doesn't really matter for me. So, but if you wanted to add sounds, you could go into your down here, and maybe during the delay, you have a sound like a eating sound. I don't know. But that's how you would eat a pork chop, at least. So that's how you would eat food items and give the stats accordingly. Now, if it was you could have both food and water, but I'm not using water here, so it doesn't matter. And the type, we didn't need that there for now anyway. Okay, so that's how you would consume an item. Now we're going to work with equipping an item. So in order to do that, first of all, I am going to import another couple of image files. So this is armor 1 and this is armor 2. So I got 2 different armor here, just so it looks a bit different. Inside of my content, inside of my inventory system, inside of my right click master item, I'm going to create a child out of that. It's going to be my master equipment. Move that into items. Make it a folder called equipment. And move master equipment inside of that. Master equipment itself will not contain too much. It will have 2 floats. It will have a armor value and a health value in case you want to increase. So this is going to be increasing it on top of everything else. This is our master equipment. Now let us go into master equipment and right click and child blueprint. So this is going to be a wooden headpiece. And then I'm actually going to make that first. So I'm going to add 2 to this one, 0 health, wooden headpiece. Icon is going to be the armor 1. It's going to be not stackable. I'm going to set it to stackable 1 size anyway. It's going to be usable. The anvil doesn't matter for me. It's going to be type equipment, and it's going to be a head slot. Compile and save that. Then I'm going to duplicate this one, and this is going to be a iron headpiece. This one is going to give 4 armor. It's going to be called iron headpiece. It's going to have the icon of armor 1. That's fine, and everything else is fine as well. Now let us work on. Actually, let's add one more, maybe. Yeah, let's add one more. So I'm going to duplicate my headpiece again, and I'm going to make a iron wooden chest piece. Wooden chest piece. I don't have any icons for this, so this is going to be my bar filled. It's going to give 2 as well. This is a chest slot. I'm going to duplicate that chest slot. This is going to be my iron chest piece. Rename it to iron. Set it to be that one. This is going to give 4 armor as well, and it's a chest piece. It's usable. Everything is okay. Now I just want to go into my character, and I want to set up 2 more of these. So index 3 and 4, I think they're both free. Yeah, 3 and 4, both free. It's going to give me a wooden chest piece and a wooden headpiece. And then 2 more. So 4 is taken, right? 0, 2, 3, 5, 6. There we go. That's going to give me my iron chest piece and iron headpiece, 1 and all. Set that. There we go. So that's our little things. Now it's killing me that I don't have icons for those, but it is what it is. Okay. So let us work first of all with the interact, or the interact. So inside of my interact, I want to add another pure function. I'm going to duplicate this one. It's going to be holding equipable item. And this one is exactly the same as before. However, this time we are going to pass out true on equipment instead. Holding equipable, branch out of that, true. Let us print first. Hello, and then this one is no. So no. Hello. Okay, there we go. So we got the prints working. Now we're going to make a new function. We're going to call this one equip item. It's going to have 2 inputs because we don't know where it's coming from. So we need our inventory component, inventory ref, and we need a index for that as well. I'm going to promote both of these to local. So local in ref, local index, like so. Pause save. I'm going to go back into my interact, and I can call my equip item. Inventory ref is our AB1 for this one, and the index is our selected slot. Go into that. We're going to get our local inventory ref. I'm going to get item info at index. Index is our local index. I'm going to cast to master equipment class. We're going to get defaults, and then we're going to promote to local armor. And then, wrong one. Local health. Right? Once you have gotten that, we can get the item info at index again. We can get the defaults. And now we're going to switch on the equipment category. And we're going to work with head first of all. So let us go up here. Let us player armor component. Okay, so we actually need to, because we want to get, we want to set that up as well. So over on our inventory slot, WP inventory slot. On the graph, we're going to make a couple of inputs. We're going to do a boolean of armor slot. And then let's also do, should I do, yeah, let's also add this. I don't think we're going to need it though. Armor type. I do not think we are gonna need it. Actually, I don't think we're gonna need it, so not add armor type. Only armor slot. Expose and edit that. And let's go into our HUD on our graph where we are generating our player armor. We're gonna refresh that. This is our armor slot. We can compile and save. We can close out of that and the HUD and the inventory slot. And now we can go back to our third person character. So now we can get our player armor component. We can get contents. We know that's 0 because when we are okay, let's open this up again. On our generate player armor, we know that's, so 0 is going to be the first one. 0 is going to be the first one. I do not think we're going to need it. Let's fucking add it anyway. Inside of our inventory slot, we're going to add our armor type. And that's going to be equipment category. Expose and edit. We're going to go into our third person. We're going to make it a variable. We're going to call this one armor types of type armor equipment category. It's going to be a array. And we're just going to add head, chest, legs, and feet to that. Then when we are generating our player armor, when we are setting it to be an armor type, we also need to, yeah, when we're setting it to be an armor slot, we also need to set it to be an armor type. So we can get our HUD ref. Apart from that, we can get our player ref. And then we can get our armor types. And then we can get a copy at the index that we are currently at, and that's going to give us our armor type. We're going to leave it like that. It looks like a fucking shit show, but have you come to expect anything else? Back in our third person character, we are going to get a copy at 0, so we know that that is our head, so that's why we're working with our head first. We're going to break this, check if our item is valid. So do we already have something inside of our slot when we are trying to equip the item? If we do not, then we are gonna get our local inventory ref, gonna get item info at index, index being our local index. We're going to get our player armor component, set item info at index. If that's false, we're gonna set it there. We're gonna set it to the incoming ones, like so. Index is gonna be 0. It's our head slot. Once that is done, we're going to get our locals. We're going to set item info at index. Index is the index. Plug it in like so. And that's going to be now blank. We are then going to, this is a, yeah, so now I'm going to just update the stats over here. And to do that, I'm going to get my HUD ref. I'm going to get my player ref. I'm going to get set current armor, because this is just an armor item. You're gonna here's where you would add any of the stats that you want to add. I'm gonna just do armor. I'm gonna set current armor to current armor plus our local armor, like so. Once we have set those, and also, yeah, as I said, here's where you would add whatever you want to add. I'm going to get my HUD ref. I'm going to get my status bar. I'm going to call update status, like so. This is if we do not have a valid class. So let me see if it will fire off. So I'm going to just do print. It printed. It did equip it as well. So that is good. However, the stats did not update. So let's figure out what that is about. Because the load is actually telling us that it's there and that it's okay. That's now 4. That should be 8. Yeah, no, 6, sorry. Oh, it is actually updating. Yeah, my bad. So it is updating. Everything is working as it should. But I'm gonna go to my third person character, and instead of changing the chest pieces and stuff, I'm gonna set max armor to be 10. Because there are 10 pieces there. I had it to 100, so now you can see that we have a lot of armor. I'm gonna remove my save again. Okay, save is removed. Press 1 to spawn in my items. Let's add this one. And let me stand there so you can see it. And it added 2 armor. Let me go and unequip that one. And you can see that we still have 2 armor. And now we're going to have 6 armor, right? Because we haven't set that up yet. I'm going to remove this load debug. And let us set that up. So if we already have something, then what I want to do is I want to get the item info at index. And I want to promote those to local cached item and local cached index. Like so. So now we have a reference of that because we are going to change everything else. So I'm going to get my armor components. Actually, I'm going to just duplicate this one down here. I'm going to get my local inventory ref and index, and I'm going to set the item at index being the local index, to be that of the outcome of our get node up here, to get 0. I'm then going to make a new function. I'm going to call this one remove stats. Remove stats is going to have an input of type master item class. I'm going to promote that to a local item. I'm then going to get my local item. I'm going to cast to master equipment. I'm going to get the defaults. Now I have a reference of the armor. So now I'm going to get my HUD ref. I'm going to get my player ref. I'm going to set current armor. Again, I'm doing armor. You need to do whatever you want to do. I'm going to set my current armor minus the incoming one from the armor over here to be the outcome of that calculation. Move that down. So to make it a bit nicer. Okay, so again there we go. Now you can see what's happening. I'm getting my current armor and I'm subtracting the item in question that we are passing through, and then I'm getting my status bar, and then I'm updating that status. Once that is done, I can return from this one pile back into equip item. I'm going to pass through a remove stats. The item is the one from our get node, and I'm going to duplicate this one. This is going to be exactly the same because now we're adding back again. Let me make some more space here. Move this down a little bit. Actually, I should move that up. Let's get our player armor component and set the item info at index. So up there, after we have set our current armor, set it the index to be 0. We're gonna set our cached item and our cached index. Wait, why did I call it index? Cached quantity. So our cached quantity, like so. Then we're gonna go into our HUD ref again. We're going to get our status bar, and we're going to update status on that one as well. So now if I hit play, I spawn in this, I can now equip this one. I should theoretically be able to, yeah. So now it's swapping between the items. It's a stupid thing that we have the same icon apparently. So let's go into our items folder, into our equipment, into our headpieces. Headpieces are apparently looking very similar. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to do my iron headpiece. There we go. I set that to be my armor 2. So now we have two distinct armors here. We do have some bugs still, so I'm going to remove my save and spawn it in. So now I have my normal here, and then I have the enhanced one here, I think. So I can equip that. I can go over here, and you can see that the armor is swapping around as it should. Now we do have some bugs. If I drag this out, that's not going to do anything, so let's fix that. We can close all tabs except for the map. And let's go find our inventory slot and go to on drag detected. On drag detected, keep in mind, as I said, you don't have to have these everywhere. You could just use those. But for consistency's sake, I am going to keep it as is. Now, I do think we actually need to go on drop instead, sorry. So on drop, I am going to, before my validity check, I'm going to disconnect this. I'm going to check if the one we're dropping on, is that not an armor type, sorry, an armor slot. Are we dropping on an armor slot? If we are not an armor slot, okay, then I want to find out if, so inventory drag drop, get the slot ref that we're coming from, get the armor slot, and I want to see if so we are not an armor slot. Well, are we coming from an armor slot? Right? If we are coming from an armor slot, then I want to remove the stats of the item. So I'm going to go into my third person character again. I'm going to make a new, no, we have actually removed stats there. So we can just get our HUD ref, get our player ref. We can call our remove stats function that we made. So this one goes into we're coming from an armor slot, so it's a true up there. And what are we going to remove? What item are we going to remove it from? We're going to get our slot ref, or our drag drop, sorry. And we're going to get the item, because that is the one that we are dragging around with us. Once that is done, we can go back into our slot validity. If we are not coming from an armor slot, well, we are just going to continue moving on. If we are an armor slot, then we are going to equip the item. So keep in mind, when we call our equip item, we already handle all the remove stats and stuff as well. We're going to get our player ref. No, we're not. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. We're going to get equip item. Going to true. The item that we're going to equip comes from a drag drop, so we need to get our drag drop and our drag drop ref, slot ref, get our inventory ref, and out from the slot ref again, get our index, and that is our inputs of the equip item, and then we can return, because then we're done with this. If I now remove my save again, spawn these in, I should theoretically be able to drop that on there and unequip it as well, like so, and swap them around. So that's it for our little equip system. Yeah, so let's add a couple more test items. So I have my wooden headpiece, wooden chest piece. Now I'm going to add my wooden chest piece, sorry, and then my iron chest piece. 0, 1, 2, 3. Unplug the rest of them. Removing my save game. Hitting play. And there are my items. Now I can do it like that. I could also go like this if I want to. What is that? No, we haven't actually implemented that. Sorry. So over on our equip item, what we want to do now is, well, actually, it kind of looks like we can use the same for everything, doesn't it? No, it doesn't, because we need to, yeah. So unfortunately, we are just going to copy all of this. Well, fortunately, unfortunately, whatever you prefer. I would like, there's 100% chance to just get all of this into the same one. I am not going to bother with that on this video. I might clean it up later, though, in a future video. So this is going to be my head slot. Then let's add our chest slot. If it's a chest, we're going to go into our branch. We're going to check if number 1 is valid. Get the copy at number 1. Yeah, we should have just... Yeah, so basically the only thing that you have to do in order to get this entire thing working with 1 is just set up a switch. So let's try to do that. So over on local variables, I'm going to add a new one. I'm going to call this one selected int. And that's an integer. So we're going to try to get all of this down into just 1. It should not be too hard. It should only be this 1 variable if my thoughts are correct. So I'm going to do, if it's head, I'm going to do selected 1 int is 0. Selected int is 1. Selected int is 2. Selected int is 3. And then I can theoretically just use selected int on these gets, and that should be it. And I can go on, move on like this. Let's see if that works. Theoretically, should work. Haven't thought this through at all. It added it on the wrong thing. Setting the item info at index. Oh, it's the index 0. It's that one, isn't it? I think this one also. I think. I'm not sure. Selected end. Selected end. Remove the save. There we go. So now we got our little armor system. And we can unequip and all of that good stuff. And add all of these down here. And then swap between them if I please. That's equipping those. And changing around the armor accordingly. Right. So wait, that's 8 armor total. So is that possible? Yeah, it is, because we have both the irons. We can just remove this print string. And we can plug that in. There. Remove this entire section up top, and that is it for our equipping. Let me just double check that everything is fine. I can, so if I go in like that, I cannot put it anywhere else. I think I can put a pork chop here though, so let's see if that is the case. If I want to swap while it's there, I can do so. Let us add another debug, and that is going to be it for this video. So 0, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do 4 on this one. That's going to be a pork chop. That's correct. Can I put a pork chop in the slot? Nope, I cannot. Beautiful. So that's and our pork chop still works. Yeah, pork chop still works. It's taking away 1 and it's adding 1, and yeah, beautiful. Let's fix this error before I go. It's the interact. It's the... let me see how it looks. So I click it. Unable to read. Switch on the item category. Holding consumable item. Okay, so it's seeing if it's valid. So let's just add a valid check here. It's valid. If it's valid, continue. If it's not, return. Okay, we still got another one. That's the other one though, right? Holding equipable, yeah. You can just copy this one. And let's put that here. Make sure that this item is valid. Plug that into there. And continue on with your lives, like so. Items are still working. Yeah. 8 is the maximum, so yeah, everything's working perfectly. And it's also being saved, right? So this is here. We now have 8 armor. I go out. Still have 8 armor. Items are still in its correct locations, and everything is saved and good to go. Okay, this video turned a bit long, but I think we made it in the end. So I think that's going to be it for this system. I might come back and do more, but this might be it for this system. If you enjoyed, please let me know in the comments below, and leave a like and subscribe. Join us on Discord, it's kind of amazing over there, and if you have any questions, that is the best way to get answers. Now, until next time, I'll see you later. Bye bye.